So my name's Shawn Henry. I'm a program manager on Azure Communication Services. And I'll give you a quick overview of Azure Communication Services, but then we'll dive into the new feature we want to talk about today, which is connectivity into WhatsApp with Azure Communication Services. So Azure Communication Services is a communication platform as a service. So you can imagine, services that send things like SMSs, voice over IP, email, and now WhatsApp. And where you use this really is for where you want to build B2C applications to enable your business to talk to your customers over the communication channels that they prefer. And we build this through an Azure service that is both personalized and proactive. We meet your customers on the channel that they want, the communication of the channel that they want, and allows you to kind of optimize and connect into your workforce by the connectivity that we have from within Azure Communication Services into Teams and the M365 ecosystem. And all this enables you to improve customer satisfaction and customer experiences because they have a delightful experience on their side that is custom, engaged with your brand and your company. And then your business is able to also operate within the M365 ecosystem. So what does this really mean? What do we actually offer? So as a communication platform as a service, we offer core communication services around voice and video over IP. So these are exactly like the meetings that we're having right now over Teams. We use the same infrastructure that powers Teams to deliver white label voice and video calling for meetings and communications, as well as chat, also built over the same infrastructure that powers Teams. So we offer text chat capabilities, and then connectivity from those two capabilities into the traditional telephony systems, both through PSTN, public switch telephone network, phone calls, as well as through SMS. So you can send SMS text messages either through toll-free local numbers or through short codes, which are those 5-digit codes that you often see for authorization and messages like that. We also have email, again, built on our Exchange infrastructure, so you can send transactional email at scale for notifications and messaging through email. We've also just announced a couple weeks ago our public preview advanced messaging. This is our connectivity of those same messaging channels into over-the-top social networks. The first one we're announcing is WhatsApp. So this allows you from Azure APIs, from your Azure Communication Services resource to send messages over WhatsApp through a WhatsApp for Business account. And let's get right into the code. So I'm going to share my screen here. Hopefully you guys can see this. The first thing I want to do is start, right at the beginning. If you're not signed up for Azure, not using Azure, like why not? Go to azure.com, get started. It's free. The first thing you'll see is the Azure portal. And if you want to go create a communication resource, it's as easy as going into create a resource, type communication services, and off you go. You'll see communication services here as something you can create. And it's very simple to set up. No extra details or anything. Very simple resource to set up. I've already created one over here. And once you have that done, you get kind of the usual Azure portal experience with things like access keys and identities and information there. One of the first things you'll probably want to do, not all Azure Communication Services need this, but a lot of them do, they need a phone number. And so this is the phone number pane here. And you'll see I have phone numbers in a bunch of different states, and that's great because I can walk you through what each of those are. When you initially sign up, you can get sometimes only one depending on your account state, but typically you can get up to 5 phone numbers with us. So you can lease these phone numbers. Here I have a bunch of 1-800 numbers, and they cost about $2 a month. It varies a little bit depending on your location. Or you can get a free trial phone number, which allows you for 30 days to have a phone number that you don't pay for, but can only go to verified phone numbers. The other thing I'll mention real quick is there are regulations in the US and Canada. If you're sending SMSs over those numbers, you need to submit a verification document. So you see I've done that for one of these calls here. The rest of them have their verification process that has to be done. I can click here and we'll walk you through the verification process. And that typically takes a few weeks, but you can get started at low bandwidth without doing a verification process. So now that I have a phone number, I'm gonna just show you how to try a couple things here within Azure Communication Services. One is you can quickly just send an SMS message if you want. So I'll show you here. My number's already pre-populated. I'm going to select one of the numbers, and I'll put in a phone number here, and we will click send. And oh, I did it. Let's see. Oh no. Give me a second here, and I will get my screen sharing restarted. Of course, aggressive battery saver on the phone decided to stop my screen sharing. We will get back up and running. Here we go. All right. So just to show you that's really working, I'll do both at the same time. Hello by SMS. Here we go. And SMS sent successfully. And there it shows up on my phone. Real quick, we're only 5 minutes in here and we've already sent our first SMS message. I'll do the same thing with email. We offer email services. If you hadn't hooked this up already, this might say connect a domain here. We support both custom domains, but we'll also give you a domain at azure.com.net so you can get started right away. But you can obviously connect this with, with your own domain. I'll send myself an email here real quick. Hello by email, and we'll hit send. This now queues the email and then sends it out. And so we can send emails then at scale. I also didn't mention over here both SMS and email. If you want to copy this directly into your code, we offer code snippets here directly for all the major Azure languages: C#, JavaScript, Java, Python, or if you just want to call the REST APIs directly. And then we'll see over here. Look, my email showed up. It is 8:22 over here on the West Coast, and my email got sent. No PowerShell. We do have Azure CLI support. We don't show it in here, but if you go to our docs, you can do all this stuff from Azure CLI as well. Okay, now the main event, messaging with WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, we have a neat system here where you point your phone at this QR code, and that will take you into your WhatsApp account on your phone, and you can now send messages. So there, you'll type into WhatsApp this connect with this code, and now we can send templated messages. The way WhatsApp for Business works is your first outgoing message has to be templated, and so you can't just send any message to anyone. And then once a customer replies to you over WhatsApp, you can send any message you want. So we have some sample templates over here. Here's an opt-in template and an appointment reminder, and we can just go ahead and send this. And the template is here, and it gets filled out with this data, and it sends it to us. If you actually want to go ahead and sign up with WhatsApp for Business, you can go and connect your channel over here. I have two channels. We have a bit of bug in the preview that we can't delete channels, so that one was deleted. But I do have one that's working. And then once you've done that, you can go and create templates within your WhatsApp for Business account. That's typically done over in the WhatsApp portal. So here's the tooling that I have over here on facebook.com for creating these templates. You can see here I've created one that's exactly the same as our sample one, where I say, dear 1 and 2, your next appointment with 3 is scheduled at 4. Press yes to confirm. When you're creating these samples, they'll ask you to provide sample data, and this then goes through a review process to make sure it's appropriate for the WhatsApp for Business platform. So here I would have added, here I'm in the edit view. When I first sent this, I added sample text in here, and then went and got it approved. So now that we have our templates created, we can hop over into code. So here I am in Visual Studio Code. In this case, I created an Azure function in C#. This is a basic HTTP triggered function. If you go through the tutorial process for creating a basic HTTP trigger, this is basically what you'll get. The only thing I've added is I've added references to Azure communication.messages. This is our SDK from Azure Communication Services for connecting to WhatsApp. And then, JSON, of course, which everyone needs. Other than that, this is all the same kind of templated code. I pull out here, it's a post request for this Azure function. So it's a REST API with a post request where I pull out a phone number. So the JSON that's sent to this post request has the phone number that I want to send the message to. I check if it's actually there. I pull out my Azure Communication Services connection string. This I got from the portal. If you go back to the portal, there's a key section. You can pull your string out from there. And then I start interacting with our SDK. I create our notification messaging client. This is our SDK that sits on top of those REST APIs and C#. I put in my connection string. I create my recipient list, which in this case is just one phone number. I pull out that template. This is the same template name I created earlier. This can be anything. I did it in English. And then I provide values for that template. So again, I'm using the same values because we did this in the sample. I'm not very original. We add those to a values list and then a bindings list, and then ultimately create a message template with the name of the template, the language, the values that are up here, and then the bindings between those values and the keys in the template. This is the messaging channel that I created. WhatsApp for Business will give this to you when you create the channel. You can also get this from the portal. And then I send the messages. So I already have this running, this function running. So to save us a little bit of time, I already got it running here. And so we can go over into my Azure workspaces here with the Azure plugin for Visual Studio Code. I'll execute the function now. I said it was the phone number I need to put in. Make sure we get that right. And we'll put in the phone number I had before, which is here, and we'll hit enter. And oh, here we go. There we go. So it showed up. This is from a different phone number. It's not from that test phone number. I'll just do that again so you can make sure you guys see it. One last time. Execute the function. Phone number. And we'll send. There it is, showed up again. Great, and executed the function. If you want to receive messages, you can do the same thing with an Azure function, but you would use Event Grid. So we'll send Event Grid messages whenever a message is received to this phone number, and you can pull those in also with Azure Functions. Or you can connect them to low code, via Power Apps or Logic Apps. That will pop back over here. Oh, that worked. We'll start over here. So to wrap up, you can check out our Learn documentation at aka.ms/acs-WhatsApp. We have a great mechanics video that I just want to shout out to as well. If you go check that out on YouTube, that's a YouTube video that has a lot more really advanced scenarios for Azure Communication Services and connecting it to intelligence, to things like Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Speech. And then we have full code that backs up that sample as well. Our docs in general are at acs.docs. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. There's my contact information. I can help out or put you in touch with someone who can. All right. Thank you.